with you, boy. You know what time it is. You know what time you step in. But that's my straight off the top, I love all of my niggas. That shit ain't gon' stop till we on top when we ballin', my nigga. We be flying, fuck, you know them bitches be stalking my niggas. That shit'll never change, and it's the same with all my niggas. City to city, I should be at home. That's what my ribs say. But bitch, I'm grown. I'm in these streets and close caption. Niggas know we bout that action. If a nigga play with me, then my heart can gon' let him have it. Hey, thank you, the shit, this truth, this shit. Nigga play, I let that Ruger hit. They be like, who is this? I'm new with it. Ain't got no manners. All them pussy niggas talking shit. Y'all know they can't stand us, but we UPK, Louisiana, bitch, that's what I'm reppin'. And my niggas solid number real ones in my section. If you wanna get down, put your boots on, start stepping. Brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood, I lay my life down right now for all my sisters and brothers, because I love them. I see them dapping their hustle. It's amazing to see how well we adapt from the struggle. Born again from a life of sin, trapping the gut. My mind frame was to kill my own kind. Feeling inferior, waking up ready to die. Run with them killers, so it's just a matter of time. For I take your life, or let you take mine. That's when I realized the slaves killing slaves while the white man live to get old. We in them graves. Shit got me finna play. I opened the Bible, went through them records, found out we was royalty, a nation to be respected. But in this world we rejected, we hated for our complex. Still fighting to get accepted. We hear the truth and reject it, but love is getting corrected. And all my niggas correct me. The commandments, the foundation we erected. Brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon.
Clap it up, clap it up. Hey, Shalom, Israel. This is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General YAHANNA, man. This is the Tuesday Brotherhood class, man. Today, we're going to talk about staying disciplined. Like, a lot of times, we can be dealing with our own things that's going on in our lives to the point where we can get confused on what we got to do. And this is for brothers and sisters. Let me tell you something. One thing that we never should be confused about is we should always be disciplined when it comes down to serving the Most High God. We should always be disciplined when it comes down to following the laws, statutes, and commandments. Is it on?
So it's on. I got probably lowered a little bit.
Let's make sure, because it definitely sounds different.
That's the foundation.
Israelite School. Let me tell you something. One thing that we never should be confused about is we should always be disciplined when it comes down.
Checking the mic.
We should always be disciplined when it comes down to following. Let me tell you something. One thing that we let's make sure.
It sounds to work.
All right. Most High in Christ. So we got to learn how to be disciplined, stay disciplined when things are good, when things are bad, when things get ugly. Because at the end of the day, us being disciplined is going to be the thing that helps us get further along. All right. Understand this, man. When it comes down to staying disciplined, and discipline starts with controlling yourself. What's good? What you got?
So like, if I may, sir, so test. Concert. So like, if I may, discipline will save lives.
You said what?
Discipline will save others' lives. You understand? If you learn how to be one thing, when you come into the I.S.U.P.K, you will learn how to stay disciplined. You will learn how to correct and take correction and correct others as well.
Right.
You understand? Taking correction is also a point a form of discipline.
Right.
You understand? And that will save your life, and not only yours, but the people around you as well. So like,
nah, what you're saying is right on. Nothing that you said is a lie, brother. Like, being disciplined is one of the most important things that you could do as a brother, as a sister, as a husband, as a wife. Like, staying disciplined is literally one of the most important things.
Right.
And it comes with learning how to control yourself, right?
Right.
Let's go to the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 25. I think we'll just rock it out. We gotta rock it out.
I know that's in the output.
Yeah, it's all good.
1 verse 9.
1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 25. Once you got, go ahead and read it for me.
Come, sir.
Go ahead.
1 chapter 9 verse
25.
Come. This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 9 verse 25.
Right.
Any man and Salakia, and every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things.
Any what?
Any man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things.
What is striving for the mastery?
So like, if I may, striving to master your flesh.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Because one thing, your spirit got to be stronger than your flesh at the end of the day.
When you're, say for instance, when you're striving for mastery in boxing, what does that mean that you have to do?
You're striving to perfect your skills.
To perfect your skills, right? When you're striving for masteries in sports, period, is perfecting your skills. It's you sitting here doing what it takes. You going, like, you have late nights and early mornings in the gym, late nights and early mornings with doing what it takes, lifting weights and running miles and doing everything possible, so that way when you are dealing with a situation, you can be at your best at all times, because you are striving for mastery in that field, right?
Right.
Why don't we strive for mastery when it comes down to serving the law, statutes, and commandments in the Most High God?
Right.
Like, that's our biggest problem right now. We don't strive for mastery when it comes down to serving the Lord. We strive in mastery when it comes down to doing wickedness. We strive in mastery when it comes down to us sitting here and playing sports.
Right.
But when it comes down to striving for mastery, when it comes down to following the laws, statutes, and commandments, not being a whore, not being a whoremonger, not being a drug addict, not being a drug dealer, not being abuser, we don't strive for mastery with those things, and that's a problem. What you got, bro?
So like, if I may, I got a precept for that.
Go ahead.
Jeremiah chapter 4 verse 22. For my people is foolish, they have not known me. They are sottish children, and they have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge.
Brother, perfect precept. That's exactly what and who we are to the Lord right now. We don't strive for mastery when it comes down to the Lord. We look like fools. We look unwise. That's just like the book of Hosea, when it says, my people are destroyed from a lack of knowledge.
Right.
And because they reject the knowledge, I shall reject We're being rejected right now because we don't have discipline. We're living in hell right now because of our lack of discipline. We could be the mightiest people on the earth right now. The 12 tribes of Israel: Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, the Haitian, Jamaican, Cuban, Colombian, the people from Portugal, people from Chile. Like, we could be above all nations on the face of the earth right now. But you know what? Because we lack discipline, we're at the bottom. Because we lack discipline, the earth is given unto the hands of the wicked, and they cover up the face of the just thereof. Like, we have to understand this, man. Us being disciplined, us staying disciplined, us learning what discipline looks like, and stop thinking that it's a bad thing to be disciplined. That would be the best thing for our lives. What did that scripture say? Go back to that scripture in 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 25. What did it say?
Come. And every man that striveth for the mastery,
and everybody that striveth for the mastery, what?
Is temperate in all things.
Is what?
Is temperate in all things.
What is it to be temperate in all things? What is it to be temperate in all things?
To be, if I may, sir, like it, to be wise or skilled in all things, and you know, what's the word? Honed in all things, like basically kind of like being locked in.
Being locked in, right? What is all right? This is something that a wise man and wise men in the truth say all the time. Be the thermostat, not the thermometer. If you are temperate, because you're striving for mastery, you have to be temperate. What does that mean? For you to be temperate, what are you? Are you the thermostat or are you the thermometer?
If I may, you know when to make it hot and make it cold.
So that means that you're what, the thermostat or the thermometer?
You're the thermostat.
You're the thermostat,
right?
Because you are somebody that knows how to control yourself. You're somebody that knows how to control the feelings that you feel. Because just because you're right in feeling the way that you feel does not make it right for you to react the way that you do.
Right.
We have to learn how to be more disciplined. Just because I'm mad does not mean I destroy everything. Just because I'm angry at something that someone says does not mean hope smash. Sometimes you got to learn how to deal with a person with kindness. Sometimes you got to move with kindness even though you have every right to destroy everything. Because you moving in kindness or you moving in a way that somebody thinks that you are so-called weak actually shows the strength that you have.
Right.
Us as a people, we have to understand, man. We have to strive for mastery. We have to strive to be the thermostat and not the thermometer. That's what we have to start doing. That's what we have to do as a people, as family. Understand, when the scripture said, and every man that striveth for mastery is temperate in all things. It's not in some things, it's in all things that you have to be temperate. You have to learn how to deal with all situations and not deal with them based off of your feelings, but deal with them based off of logic.
Right.
You have to learn that, you know what, sometimes I shouldn't say this. Sometimes I shouldn't move like this. Sometimes I should not sit here and react abruptly just because I feel this way. You have to be disciplined in your movements. And it didn't say in some things. What did it say? It said in all things. When you striving for mastery, you have to learn how to control yourself and control the situation and do it in all things. That's what we got to start doing as a people. Learning how to move and control ourselves in all matters. Go ahead and keep reading.
Come, verse 26. Salaki. Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible. Verse 26. I therefore so run, not as uncertainly, so fight I, not as one that beateth the air.
Understand this. We have to learn how to control our bodies. We got to learn how to control our emotions. We got to learn how to control our desires. We have to learn how to control everything that we deal with on a daily basis. Having that type of discipline, and it will bring you into subjection. It will bring you into a point where you don't have to be subject to certain things and certain outcomes. Like once we start understanding those things, we'll be better off as a people. Once we learn how to control our anger, once we learn how to listen and not think that everything that someone says to you is to hurt you. Once we learn how to, hey, how y'all doing? Shalom. Once we learn how to really control ourselves, we will be better off. We're going to go ahead and drop that. We're going to go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 25, verse 28. It says, he that has no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls. See, when we're talking about discipline, right? Why in the Bible, when we're talking about discipline, where it says, he that has no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down. Having no control. Hey, if you need something, grab my car keys. I got something you can cover your head with in the door. Just do it. It's the water, bro. When it says he that has no rule over his own spirit is like a city that's broken down. Somebody that doesn't have discipline. Are you going to trust somebody that doesn't have discipline every time they get angry to keep your life safe? You're not. You're not going to trust them. The reason why you're not going to trust them is because as soon as his emotions or soon as her emotion gets high, they make crazy decisions. They no longer make sound decisions or have sound judgment on matters because they allow their emotions to run everything that they're doing. That's why we're talking about discipline. You have to always have rule over your own spirit. Because when you don't, you lose people. People no longer trust you. People no longer look to you for guidance because in their eyes, everything is always all good until this person gets emotional. Everything is all good until this person gets angry. Once they get angry and emotional, they're like a city that's broken down and without walls. Because they're so emotional that you can't get nothing from them. You can't get sound judgment from them. You can't get counsel from them because their emotions cloud themselves. They cloud their judgment. And as a people, we have to learn to be more disciplined. Do you think we'll be dealing with all the stuff that we're dealing with in the communities that we're in right now if we were not clouded, if our judgment wasn't clouded by emotions, do you think that we'll have our sisters as prostitutes? Do you think that we would have brothers and sisters that's locked up doing football numbers behind bars if we learned how to have more discipline? I don't think we'll have those problems, because I've seen the change. I've seen our people be changed and lives be changed. But the only time that those things change is when people decide to have more discipline. We're in the book of Proverbs right now. If anybody's looking, we're in the book of Proverbs, chapter 25, verse 28. So when the scriptures talk about he that has no rule over his own spirit is like a city that's broken down and without walls, it's talking about a person with no self-control. A person with no self-control is spiritually compromised. It's somebody that's spiritually unprotected. What you got out? Go ahead. Go ahead, man. I ain't gonna do it like that. Come on.
Yeah, kind of select, if I may. I was just gonna go back and refer to a city with no walls. What do walls do? Oh, the walls keep enemies out. Exactly. They are what surrounds the city. If you ain't got no walls, then you could just let anybody in. You could let anybody in any situation change your character at any given moment. So like it.
Nah, you too hard. Like, you gotta understand, bro. When you don't have discipline, you're unprotected. Discipline is like what you said. It's like a city with walls. A city with walls have defense.
Right.
Has protection. When you are disciplined and you are listening to the law, statutes, and commandments, and you're following them, you learn how to control your anger. You learn how to control your mouth. You learn how to talk to people and how to make people feel like they can gain a brother and gain a sister when they come to you. You become a place of refuge. You become a place of defense. But when you're uncontrollable, what do you look like to people?
Goofy.
You look like a goofy. You look like somebody that they cannot control. Like, they cannot control themselves. I don't know why they allowed this person to have rank. Like, do you know that that's how people think at times? When they see officer of 50, or officer of 500, or officer of 1,000, or a brother or sister in the truth, like when they see that you are out and about and you just have no self-control, you know, they like, man, I don't understand. Man, ain't they supposed to be the leaders? Ain't they supposed to be leadership? We can never allow something like that to happen, especially when it comes down to the 12 tribes of Israel, because at all times we are supposed to be the leaders. Here in the I.S.U.P.K, we are leaders. We're not followers. But us being leaders, we have to learn how to be more disciplined. As brothers, we got to learn that. If you become a young man in a trooper in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, you got to understand how to be more disciplined.
Right.
If you are officer of 50, officer of 500, officer of 1,000, officer of 5,000, a captain, with those ranks, you have to be more disciplined. Because these things are what's going to keep our people safe. People look up to us. People come to us for counsel. When you are a high-ranking man, they come to you for counsel. Why? Because they see you as a refuge. They see you as a person that has discipline, and they need to learn the knowledge that you have, the discipline that you have, because they're looking to better themselves. So we can't let our people down. because our pride is getting in the way. We can't let our people down because, you know what, today I don't feel like being strong. We can't let our people down because when you let your people down, somebody can be unalive. Somebody can be hurt. A family can be torn apart because we decided to have a moment of weakness. We as a people have to learn how to stay strong for one another and be more disciplined. Let's go ahead and drop that. Go to the book of Galatians, chapter 6, verse 9. Like, being disciplined is not a light thing. It's not an easy thing. You got to learn how to be consistent, even when things get difficult. When it comes down to being disciplined.
Ooh.
Brother, go ahead and read that once you got that. The book of Galatians, chapter 6, verse 9.
Come. This is the book of Galatians, chapter 6, verse 9. And let us not be weary in well doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not.
Read it one more time.
Come. And let us not be weary in well doing.
What does that mean?
Let us basically saying, if we doing, kind of like what we're doing in here, we're doing the Lord's work. Let's not get fatigued. Let's not get complacent or lazy with the work.
Let us not be weary. What is the definition of the word weary?
Weak. I'll put it. Go ahead. Come.
Let us not be weary in well doing. Let's get the definition of weary.
Come. This is the Google definition of weary. Very tired, drained of energy, or tired of something because you have experienced too much of it.
See, brother, hey, look, I ain't gonna lie to you, brother. I like when we get the definition.
Right.
It make it hit differently. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So let's read it one more time. It says, "Let us not be weary in well doing." So now, what us knowing the definition on top of the definition you already gave us, brother? What is that saying?
Let us not.
Go ahead. No, let us not what?
And let us not be weary in well doing.
And based off of the definition that you just read off of Google, what is that saying now?
Let's not get tired of doing the right thing.
Let us not get tired of being disciplined. Let us not be tired of doing the hard things when the easy thing just seems it just seems right here at our fingertips to just do wrong. Let us not be weary in well doing, in the good things. Let us not be so tired of always doing what's right. Let us not do that.
It's crazy.
You had something, bro?
I do.
Go ahead.
Because, like you said before, it's so easy to fall into sin.
It is.
It's literally in the palm of your hand every day.
Bro.
It's easy to do the wrong thing when the wrong thing is in front of your face every day.
Absolutely.
At all times.
At all times, brother. Like, it's crazy because you said it. It's at the palm of your hand. You wake up from it every morning. It's called a phone. Phones are one of the number one wickedness in the face of the earth. You want to know why? If you think I'm tripping, if you think I'm just blaming electronics, bro, do you know that you can get on social media,
Twitter,
and it brings all kind of destructiveness to your life?
Right.
You heard what the brother said. The brother said Twitter. We know Twitter is no longer Twitter no more. Twitter is the new Pornhub. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
So like, if I may, you could type in something, an innocent word like microwave, and it would pull up something diabolical.
Yeah, brother. Like,
just use your imagination.
Yeah, I don't even want to. You're gonna stay disciplined. I don't even want to use my imagination, brother.
Right.
Because that's how crazy the world is right now. See, the world gets so weary in the time of well doing. They get so tired. What was the last definition? They said getting tired
of so like I got you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Or tired of something because you have experienced it too much of it.
See, all people don't like discipline. When you feel like you've been disciplined too much, what happens?
I mean, it's like if I may, eventually, if you get disciplined too much, eventually you're gonna want to do right. But
you want to know what's crazy? All people is not like that.
You would think.
All people are like the goody girl that parents were very strict, and now she's going to college. What do they always say about the child that has strict parents all their life, but then they go to college? What do they turn out to be? Go ahead, brother. You already know what I'm about to say.
Through your foes.
Hey, they become undisciplined and untrained because now they no longer feel like they're under the shackles of their parents' discipline. And that's how people are. And the Bible is telling you, don't be like that. Don't get tired of dealing with discipline. Don't get tired of being corrected. Learn how to take correction and stay disciplined. Learn how to be better every day. It says, because in due season we shall reap if we faint not. If you in the time of trouble decide to stay disciplined, if you are a follower of the Most High God's laws, statutes, and commandments, when we're in a land that's full of wickedness, we're in the new day and age, Sodom and Gomorrah. If you learn how to stay structured, if you learn how to stay disciplined, then it said, what? You shall reap if you don't faint. What are we trying to reap? We're trying to reap what? The kingdom. We're trying to get the kingdom. And the only way for us to get the kingdom is for us to follow these laws, statutes, and commandments. Go to the book of Hebrews, chapter 12, verse 11.
So it's a lot.
Hebrews, chapter 12, verse 11.
Okay. Come on, this is the book of Hebrews, chapter 12, verse 11. Now, chastening for the present seemeth to be joyous, but grievous.
Read it again.
So, like, now, no chastening for the present seemeth to be joyous, but grievous. Nevertheless, afterward it yieldeth the peaceable fruit of righteousness unto them which are exercised thereby.
We're gonna read that one more time, a little bit slower. Stop right after you know exactly where I want you to stop at.
Come. Now, no chastening for the present seemeth to be joyous.
No what?
No chastening for the present seemeth to be joyous.
Now, let's just stop there and break that down. Now, no chastening for the present seems to be joyous. What does that mean?
It might seem like it's harsh right now. Mm-hmm. It might seem like you're going through affliction right now. But in the end, it's a reason why you have to go through this to ascertain a certain level of discipline.
Who likes to be corrected?
Right.
Who likes to feel like they're wrong about a matter? Nobody likes to feel like they're wrong, right?
Right.
Like nobody. I don't. Do you? Do you? Nobody likes to feel like they're wrong. Nobody wants to be checked. Nobody wants to feel like their feelings is not correct. We can talk about children. Children don't want to feel like they're wrong. Children don't want to be checked. They don't want to be corrected. They want to be able to just do whatever they do and just enjoy it, right? So when it says now no chastening for the present seems to be joyous. Nobody wants to be corrected. Nobody wants to be checked because those things don't feel good. To know that you know what, you're not there yet. There's some things that you still got to change. There's some things that you still got to correct. That thing that don't feel good. But what did it say right? What did it say after?
Nevertheless, afterward it yielded the peaceable fruit of righteousness.
It yielded the what?
Peaceable fruit of righteousness.
Understand this. You may not like to be corrected. You may not like to be checked. But the reason why you're being corrected, the reason why you're being checked, is so that way you learn how to be more disciplined. You learn how to deal with situations better. And you learn how to communicate better. You learn how to be more one with one another. When it comes down to brothers and sisters, when it comes down to marriages, when it comes down to brothers dealing with brothers, sisters dealing with sisters, if you learn how to take correction more, then you can yield the peaceable fruit of righteousness. You'll learn how to be around one another more. And it not always seems so grievous. Keep reading, brother. What else does it say?
Unto them which are exercised thereby.
We as a people gotta learn, even when it's not fun, we gotta learn how to be more disciplined. Even when it's not the best feeling in the world, we have to learn how to accept correction, accept discipline, and become better. That's what we got to learn how to do. Let's go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 32. Because the next thing we got to learn how to do is control ourselves, even when it comes down to our anger. Look, pass this. We got to learn how to be more disciplined, even in our times of being angry. Go ahead and read that once you got that.
Come. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 32. He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh a city.
Go. Yeah, I know you got something, brother. Go ahead.
Oh, lie, sir.
You good?
I'm rolling.
Hey, like when it comes down to being disciplined, that's why it says he that is slow to anger is better than the mighty. Somebody that knows how to be disciplined, somebody that knows how not to just jump out there and run out there into a field of landmines. They're better than someone that just knows how to just go at all times. Somebody that knows how to be strategic. Somebody that knows how to plan out things. Somebody that's slow to anger is better than the mighty. Why? Because he doesn't move based off of his might. He doesn't move based off of his emotions. She doesn't move based off of her feelings. Because a lot of times, something that can cloud our judgment often is our feelings. Sometimes we got to learn to let logic lead the way, not emotions. But if you learn how to be slow to anger, if you learn how to sit here and not go based off of everything that comes to you, every action, everything that's said to you does not need a reaction. Once you learn that, once you learn how to control your emotions and your anger, you'll be better off. You'll be able to deal with more things. Keep reading. What does it say after that? And it said, and he that what?
And he that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh a city.
If you learn how to rule your own spirit, you'll be mightier than somebody that knows how to take a city. Because somebody that's mighty, somebody that knows how to take a city, they can only go so far. They can only do so much before they fall. But somebody that knows how to control their emotions, somebody that knows how to plan and be disciplined, will be somebody that knows how to rule for eternity. So what do you want to do? You want to rule for a time, or do you want to rule for eternity? I know what I want to do. I don't want nothing to be short. The only way for us to succeed as a people is for us to get the egos out the way. Get the egos out the way and come back to what your father had planned for you. Anybody got anything right now? Go to the book of James, chapter 1, verse 19. We're going to talk about controlling and being more disciplined when it comes down to our anger and our emotions for a quick second.
You said James.
The book of James, chapter 1, verse 19.
This is the book of James, chapter 1, verse 19. Wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath.
Read it one more time.
Wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath.
Why is the Bible telling us that when we're talking about discipline? Good.
Hey, Shalom, no crazy. Yeah, I'm in class right now. What's going down?
Why is the Bible saying, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, and slow to wrath?
I already know you a hard brother to reach, but I'm gonna holler at you after class, all right? Already, man. Hey, Shalom, no crap, man. Already.
If we don't mind, food pass the mic to your sister.
Because when you are emotionally compromised, you can miss important things when you're being told. Especially when it's something that can save your life. You feel like you know better, or you can't listen, and you're not disciplined.
Exactly. Great answer. When you don't know how to be slow to speak, slow to wrath, and swift to hear, you can put yourself in a predicament that you are not ready for. And then you'll be turning around trying to look for help. And the help gonna be looking at you like, I told you not to do that. Go ahead, bro.
If I may, sir, but you see what happened? He missed the detail because he did not listen. Yep. Because he was trying to do too much of this.
Yep.
That's all.
Nah, brother. Hey, everything out to wall, brother. Like, a lot of times we got to be very mindful of this. That scripture in the book of James is something that's very important. Let every man, when it's talking about man, it's definitely talking about the men of the Lord. It's definitely talking about men because you are the head of your household. But it's not just talking about men. It's talking about men and women, and something that you have to teach your children. Be swift to hear, slow to speak, and slow to wrath. A marriage cannot last long if you don't keep that law. If you don't keep this right here, if you're somebody that's slow to hear, swift to speak, and swift to wrath, a marriage is not going to last long. Because everything that you're doing is get back. I got to get my lick back.
Right.
If you're that way when it comes down to brothers, what's gonna end up happening? Somebody's gonna end up unalive. Because it's only so much talking we're gonna do before action gotta be involved, right? I think I know men. I think I know. There's only so much a brother gonna say to you before one or two things gonna happen. He's gonna be like, all right, fam. Hey, I ain't got no more talking to do. What's good? You either gonna throw hands or somebody getting shot. That's the same thing.
Right.
The divorce rate of families, of marriages is so high because people don't know what it is to be swift to hear, slow to speak, and slow to wrath. Go ahead, brother.
So, like, if I may, I feel like so many situations in our community will be resolved if we just hear one another out without any kind of emotion, with a form of discipline. There would be no street beefs.
Nope.
If we just heard one another out. You know, naturally, we're not a violent people, but of course, we are reactionary to our environments and, you know, the circumstances therein. You understand? So we succumb to certain things. But if we had more knowledge of what we teach in here, we would not. This would not plague our community.
Exactly, and that's what we here in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. That's what we're teaching. We're teaching our people that, you know what, hey, when it comes to dealing with one another, man, hey, let's have more patience. Let's give each other the benefit of the doubt. Because those things is what's going to make us money. Let's listen to one another more. Let's stop arguing so much. Let's actually take the time out to hear one another.
Right.
And what one another is bringing to each other. Yeah, it might not feel good to hear that you think that I'm a pig because I keep my clothes all over the floor. Yeah, that's not something that feels good. But if you are slow to speak and swift to hear, what is that saying? What is that person saying to you when they say that you're a pig because you leave your clothes everywhere? Yeah, they could communicate better, but what they're telling you is they wish that you would clean up after yourself more when it comes down to yourself. What is it saying? What is it saying when you're dealing with someone, a brother dealing with another brother, and he say, "Hey, bro, like, you know, it's a lot. I ain't trying to be rude to you or nothing, but bro, you lazy. You don't care to do the work of the Lord." What is he saying? If you were swift to hear, he's telling you, hey, bro, like, again, even with that, it's a better way of saying it, but he's telling you, bro, look, when it comes down to doing the will of your Father, you pick and choose.
Right.
And this is not a school that pick and choose. We're a school that do.
Right.
We do the will of our Father at all times. And when you don't, you know what happens? You get that correction. Discipline is at all times. You got to learn how to master being disciplined. And one of the steps to mastering discipline is to be what? Swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath. Once you learn how to do that, like, this is the crazy thing about discipline, right? You got to understand that real strength isn't simply overpowering somebody else, right? It is having enough control to master yourself through your own anger. What you got, bro?
So, like, if I may, it's strength in mercy.
Exactly. Because I know for a fact, I'm strong. I can sit here and do whatever I feel like doing in a matter.
Right.
I know for a fact that the Lord and the generals and Commander General YAHANNA gave me rank, and I could abuse my authority if I wanted to, but what do I get from that? What you say, sis?
You get loneliness.
You get lonely.
Battle, but you don't win.
Right. At the moment, you feel like you won a battle, but you lose the war because what? Your lack of discipline has made you look like a fool amongst everybody. Because you feel like you the man because you checked somebody in front of God and everybody, but everybody looked at you like, damn, brother, you couldn't have brought him to the side and do that. So you really lose instead of winning because of your lack of discipline. And that's what happens with our families. That's what happens when it comes down to men and women. Hey, y'all leave that cat alone. That's what happens when it comes down to men and women. A lot of times, y'all sit here and get into arguments, but who's really the losers because both of y'all don't have discipline? Who's the losers of the household when men and women argue to the point where they get divorced and they have children? Who's the losers because of the parents' lack of discipline? It's the children. The children are the losers because now they're divided between families, and that's a problem. Let's drop that. Hey, let's go to the book of Ecclesiasticus in Apocrypha, chapter 1, verse 22.
Ecclesiastes 1 verse 2.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 1 verse 22.
Oh, 22. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus chapter 1 verse 22. A furious man cannot be justified, for the sway of his fury shall be his destruction.
If we're talking about discipline, let's stay in context. If we talk about discipline, what does that scripture say?
Come again, sir.
What is that scripture saying if we stay on the lines of discipline? A furious man cannot be justified, for the sway of his fury shall be his destruction.
Because when you react out of anger, after everything is said and done, you are not left with the destruction of what you caused because of your emotions.
Right, because you let what lead you?
Emotions.
When you allow emotions to lead you, after everything calms down, you are not going to be justified based off of what you did out of your emotions. You're not going to be justified. You allowed your emotions to make it where you went and unalived someone. So once everything calms down, what is your destruction? What is your destruction? Because through your emotions, you went and unalived someone. What is your destruction? Go ahead.
So like now you got to get locked up for the rest of your life. And now, not only that, does that destroy you, that destroys your family as well. Because now they got to take time out to try to look out for you and help you out, because now you in the jam because you reacted off of your emotions.
What does you moving off of your emotions to the point where you go rob someone, what destruction comes after that?
You destroy, you go to jail.
You go to jail or you get unalived.
Or that, yeah.
What happens? What kind of destruction comes when through your fury you decide as a man and a woman to start having a domestic violence relationship? What fury and destruction? What destruction comes from that?
You destroy your whole household and y'all's dynamic on how y'all deal with one another. Also, you cloud your children's view on how they look at a future relationship or y'all.
Exactly. Like when this scripture, when it's talking about a furious man cannot be justified, for the sway of his fury shall be his destruction. You gotta understand, as the leaders of your household, as the parents of your household, You cannot be compromised by your emotions to the point where you do things out of anger. Because you're not going to be justified. And what you do is going to have some destruction that comes along with it. What you got?
So like I was seeing if I could read 23.
Go ahead.
Common Con, this is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1, verse 23. A patient man will tear for a time, and afterward joy shall spring up into him.
Break it down.
So like if I may, if you're a, whatever situation comes your way as a patient man, you're gonna be messed up about it for a while. But since you did not react, now you would never have to deal with the outcome of reacting off of your emotions. So eventually you're gonna get over it. Life goes on.
Yep.
The good times gonna come.
Mm-hmm. It ain't gonna be how you want it.
Right.
But
you out of the situation, and now you did not cause any kind of destruction that may ruin either your life or the people around you.
that's what I'm talking about. That right there, brother. That's the that when we talk about all the time here in the truth, that's about life or death. We talk about life or death because the scriptures say life and death is in the power of the tongue, right?
Right.
It's also in your discipline.
Right.
Life or death is not only in the power of the tongue, but also in discipline. If you lack discipline, what's going to happen?
Gonna be led into destruction.
You gonna be a prideful person, and we all know what prideful is.
If I may, it's like self-destructing.
Always.
Right.
Pride and lack of discipline is your biggest self-destruction. You become a ticking time bomb, and everybody just waiting on the time that time clicks off, and they waiting to see the show.
There you go. I knew this was gonna happen.
Yeah. And that's the first thing they're gonna say too. I knew this was gonna happen. I was just waiting for when it was gonna happen.
Right.
And you know how we think about it. Man, shut up. You ain't know nothing. But people can see that. Because they can see your lack of discipline. We're gonna drop that, man. We're gonna keep the party going, brother. It's a lot. All right. Go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 13, verse 3. We're gonna get on the next part of discipline. We talk about with discipline, you learn how to control your anger and your emotions, right? With discipline, you also got to learn how to control your mouth. Learn how to be disciplined with your mouth. Go ahead and read once you got the book of Proverbs, chapter 13, verse 3.
So you mind if I start at 1?
Do what you do.
Okay. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 13. Chapter 13, verse 1. A wise son heareth his father's instruction, but a scorner heareth not rebuke. Verse
What?
A scorner heareth not rebuke.
Read it from the beginning.
A wise son heareth his father's instruction, but a scorner heareth not rebuke. Verse 2. A man shall eat good by the fruit of his mouth, but the soul of the transgressors shall eat violence. Verse 3. He that keepeth his mouth keepeth his life, but he that openeth wide his lips shall have destruction.
Bro. Let's break that down for a moment, right? Let's break that down. And I'm glad you read from verse 1 too. Let's go back to verse 1. Read it one more time.
Come. A wise son heareth his father's instruction, but a scorner heareth not rebuke.
As a people, right? We got to be more mindful of how we operate in certain situations. We got to learn how to really come back to our culture, because coming back to our culture makes us wise. These are the things that make us better than these other nations because we have commandments, we have laws,
Right.
we have things that makes us disciplined. We're not out here doing all these wild things if we will come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments. What are some of the wild things we wouldn't be out here doing if we were more disciplined as the 12 tribes of Israel?
It's like, if I may, we wouldn't be out here dying.
We wouldn't be out here being unalive. What else?
When there would be no so-called black on black violence.
There would be no violence amongst the 12 tribes of Israel. What else?
It would be no sin.
It,
Damn near, just...
the sin wouldn't be upon the 12 tribes. The sin would be upon the heathen.
Right.
And would the earth be given into the hands of the wicked if the heathens were the only ones that were sinning?
La.
See, if we were more disciplined and disciplined with our mouths, if we were doing more than just doing everything everybody else has to offer us, we would be better off. If we were listening and heeding to what our Father had for us, then would we be dealing with all the unalivings, the prostitution, the drug raids, and the trap house raids that we're dealing with, the people that get unalived in the prison system, the people that's stuck in the prison system, the people that's the sisters that go to Planned Parenthood and unalive these poor babies based off of their whoredom. Will we be dealing with any of those things?
La.
Yeah, something, brother.
Khan, sir, if I may, it says father's instruction.
Whose instruction?
Father's instruction.
Understand this, man. Us as a people, we don't really want to listen to our father's instructions. You want to know why? Because listening to your father's instructions means that you can't have the fun of this world. The fun of this world is against your father.
I mean, damn.
Like
everything.
Everything that this world has to offer you. Did your father say that you can't have a drink? Your father didn't say that you couldn't have a drink. You know what your father did say?
Don't be a drunkard.
Don't be a drunkard. Your father said, you know what? I made man to be with woman and woman to be with man. You know what the world told you to do?
Be alternative.
Be sword fight. The world told you to scissor and sword fight.
Boxing.
Ain't even boxing at that point. Like if you were following your father, then you would be better off. But because you don't, we're in hell. What does verse 2 say?
Verse 2. A man shall eat good by the fruit of his mouth, but the soul of the transgressors shall eat violence.
What is that saying? The man shall eat good by the fruits of his mouth. If you are somebody that's kind, if you are somebody that speaks life into people, if you are somebody that tells people to come back to the law, statutes, and commandments, what would happen to you?
So like you will eat the good fruit.
You'll eat the good fruit. But if you somebody that always stirs up mess, if you somebody that sit here and lie to everybody to try to get over them, if you are a scammer, then what do? What fruit are you going to bear?
Bad fruit.
Because what's coming your way?
Violence.
What you got, brother?
If I may, I'm Benjamin, but I grew up Judite.
Yeah,
in the Judite community, we got these things called fighting words.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Certain things that you can say will get a reaction from somebody that will draw violence
Facts.
quickly. Sometimes it might be some talking, sometimes it might be no talking. But regardless, at the end of the day, what it might come down to is violence,
Exactly.
whether that be with the hands or gunplay. So, in other words, watch what you say, watch what you do, watch how you treat others, because how what you say and what you do to others will warrant either a good response or a negative response.
Exactly. And read verse 3 for me. What else did you say?
Come.
He that what?
He that keepeth his mouth keepeth his life.
He that does what?
He that keepeth his mouth keepeth his life.
When you learn how to walk away from certain situations instead of trying to let your pride lead the way, then you walk with your life. See, you can't sit here and argue with a fool, because what does it look like? If you arguing with a fool,
right,
then what happens?
Y'all both look stupid.
Y'all both look like a what?
Goofy. A fool.
Y'all both look like a fool. But when you know how to keep your mouth, and when you know how to not keep stirring up strife, then what happens? You keep your life.
Right.
Because what is a fool looking for at the end of the day? A fool is looking for what? Destruction. Because a fool only knows how to be what?
A fool.
A fool only knows how to be a fool. But that precept right there, verse 3 said, he that keepeth his mouth keepeth his life. But he that opens his mouth wide, his lips shall have destruction. We have to learn how to be more disciplined in the things that we do inside. Because based off of the things you do and the things you say, depends if you're going to look at life more abundantly, or you're going to see unaliving coming your way real quick. Go to the book of Ecclesiasticus and the Apocrypha, chapter 20, verse 7.
Come. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 20, verse 7. A wise man will hold his tongue till he see opportunity, but a babbler and a fool will regard no time. Damn. Salagi, if I may.
Go ahead.
I heard a old man once told me, Salagi, if I may.
Yeah, go ahead.
You didn't talk yourself out of box.
Salaki
for saying it like that. But
no, brother, no. Hey, we in class.
He didn't tell me. I heard it.
I can sit here. I can use that. I can use that. There was an old song, right? It says, you got to know when to hold them.
When to fold.
Know when to fold them. Know when to walk away. Know when to run. You can't count your money while you sitting at the table. There's plenty of time to count.
Right.
When the deal is done. See, that old song goes along with this scripture. See, you got to know when to hold them. You see where it says a wise man will hold his tongue until he sees opportunity. See, a wise man knows when to hold them and know when to fold them. Knows when to walk away and knows when to run. See, a fool, a babbler and a fool will regard no time. See, discipline, and that's the beauty of discipline, man. Sometimes discipline means knowing when not to speak. Like, sometimes you got to know that what you have to say in this moment, out of your anger, out of your emotions, out of your pride, out of the strength of your mouth, not the strength of wisdom, it's the wrong thing to do. If you know how to be quiet during those times and know not when to say stuff, you'll be better off. Don't be a babbler. A babbler don't know the time. A babbler just says anything that comes to their mind, and they don't understand that how destruction is going to come to them because of it. How many people have y'all known to either lose their life or go to jail for life because they are a babbler? They don't know when to be quiet. They don't know when not to put themselves in a situation that can get them unalive or get their families hurt because they're just talking, getting themselves set up. Or we can use the analogy that the brother brought up. A brother that talked himself into a great situation, and then he loses the situation because he didn't know when to be quiet. Us as the 12 tribes of Israel, us as a people, we have to learn how to stop being babblers.
Right.
We got to learn what it is to be wise people. Now, we're going to drop that. Now we're going to get to the part that's this right here takes a lot of accountability right here. With discipline requires correction. Go to the book of Proverbs chapter 12 verse 2. I mean, we can go to Proverbs chapter 12 verse 1.
Come. This is the book of Proverbs chapter 12 verse 1. Whoso loveth instruction loveth knowledge.
Who that what?
He that loveth instruction loveth knowledge.
Whoso loveth instruction loveth knowledge. Keep reading.
But he that hateth reproof is brutish.
He that what?
That hateth reproof is brutish.
What does the word brutish mean?
Like a brute, like.
Let's get the definition, if you don't mind, from me, please. Y'all go back there, sit down. Sit down and watch that movie.
I got that, sir.
Go ahead.
This is the Google definition of brutish. Acting like a cruel, violent, or unintelligent animal rather than a civilized human.
Read it one more time.
Come. Acting like a cruel, violent, or unintelligent animal rather than a civilized human.
So, when a person that hated reproof is a person that what? Acts like a
animal.
Acts like an animal. And what do our oppressors do to animals?
Do I gotta name everything? We might get kicked off.
Brother, we ain't gotta name everything. But what is the top two things that they do to animals all the time?
Hunt, unalive, and
cage them.
Right.
Why do you think we have zoos? Because our oppressors want to be able to look at animals. So what do? They cage the animals. They unalive animals and put them on their on placards on their walls.
Gotta hang the head up.
Yeah, they gotta hang the heads up because they just want to show what they hunted down over the time being. It says, whosoever or whoso loveth instruction loveth knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
If you're somebody that can be corrected, if you're somebody that desires being corrected so that way you can be the best you possible, then you love knowledge. But a person that hates being corrected, you're an animal. That's who you become. You become an animal. And you know what your oppressor is going to end up doing to you.
Right.
Either locking you in a cage for the rest of your life or unaliving you where your family never ever gets to see you again.
Damn.
And there's loved ones that gotta live their life knowing that the love or a person that used to be the love of your life, knowing that they gotta live without you forever. Because you decided to be an animal instead of a person that has knowledge. Go ahead.
If I could, sir, a person would decide to be like the oppressor, who is the most animalistic creature upon the face of the earth that walks upright. You understand? We sitting up here letting people who are not fit to rule over themselves lock us up, unalive us, tell us where to shop, tell us how to dress. We're letting people who are not civilized, the most uncivilized people upon the face of the earth, teach us how to be civilized. Ain't that something?
The nastiest people on the face of the earth
Abominable.
trying to tell us what it is to be clean and tell us what it is to be a citizen. The illegal aliens are the people that's trying to tell my Hispanic brothers what it is to be a proud American.
The real vagabond.
You understand what I'm saying? Let's go to the book of Proverbs chapter 15, verse 31. We got to learn how to be able to take correction. We got to be able to accept it, because those things are the things that's going to make us better. Go ahead and read.
Khan, this is the book of Proverbs chapter 15, verse 31.
Mm-hmm.
The ear that heareth the reproof of life abideth among the wise.
What is the reproof of life? What's the reproof of life?
Salaki correction.
Correction.
Or
what is life according to these scriptures, according to how we think here in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge?
Right.
What is life?
Abiding by the law, statutes, and commandments.
Abiding by the law, statutes, and commandments is life. You said, huh?
So not sinning is life.
Not sinning is life. That's life. Living by the law, statutes, and commandments, learning how to be a better brother, learning how to be a better sister, learning how to be more disciplined, learning how not to fall short when it comes down to the things that your God has told you. That's life. And keep reading. What else does it say?
Verse 32.
Finish 31.
Come on, sir. The ear that heareth the reproof of life abideth among the wise.
Oh, go to 32. Salah.
Come on. Verse 32. He that refuseth instruction despiseth his own soul.
He despises what?
His own soul.
So if you follow, if you hear the reproof of life, you abide amongst the wise. But if you sit here and refuse instruction, you despise your own life. You think everything's sweet because you like, man, hey man, I don't want to follow these rules right here. I want to sit here, I want to go to clubs and make it rain and look like Big Bank Hank and wear all this jewelry and wear all these things that sit here and make me look like a target.
Yeah.
So what happens to targets?
Targets get hit.
Targets get hit. I've seen plenty of targets at the gun range get hit. So you think it's different when it comes down to these club scenes?
Right.
You think it's different when it comes down to everyday life? When you start making yourself a target because you want to abide by the wise? You want to abide by the reproof of life. Go ahead, you got it.
Come kind of select, if I may, it just hit different when, you know what I'm saying, instruction is to make you better. Mm-hmm. So you not following instruction, you must not want to see yourself do better. That's hating yourself.
Exactly.
That's rejecting game that's going to elevate you in life. You must not want to elevate.
Exactly. You don't want to. It's beyond elevation, brother. Like it's not. You don't want to elevate.
Right.
You don't want to live.
You want to rule.
Brother, you said it right before I can even get to that.
Salad, my bad.
Brother, we good. Like we here. We here.
Right.
It's right here. You feel me?
Right.
You don't, as a people, we don't want to rule. We don't want to rule as a people because we can't sit here and abide by the laws, statutes, and commandments. We understand that we're at the bottom right now. But you want to know something? We don't want to come out of slavery. See, we're not dealing with the old day and age slavery. We're dealing with the new day and age slavery.
Right.
But we don't want to come out of slavery because we're too busy enjoying the luxuries and liberties that comes with us doing what's wrong. See, the luxuries and liberties that we enjoy is not of God, but it's of a different master, the master of destruction. And he's okay with it. He's okay with you being a non-disciplined person because he knows for a fact, I will always be on top of you if you stay undisciplined. Understand that your life is on the line. If you hear the reproof of life, you will be amongst the wise. But if you refuse instructions, you despise your own soul because you're going to put yourself in a predicament that you are not going to be able to get out of. Sit down. Go to it's crazy. It all lines up. Go to the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 21, verse 11.
Come. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 21, verse 11. Mm-hmm. He that keepeth the law of the Lord getteth the understanding thereof, and the perfection of the fear of the Lord's wisdom.
Mm. Yeah, I understand, brother. I see your face when you read it. Is that not cut and dry?
Come.
It says, he that keepeth the law of the Lord getteth the understanding thereof, and the perfection of the fear of the Lord is wisdom. We don't understand what it is to sit here and live under the perfection of the Lord. We don't understand it. You want to know why we don't understand it? Because we've been under the disperfection, unperfection,
uncivilized,
the uncivilized act of the oppressor for so long. Go ahead, bro.
It's Salaki, if I may. This is how you know it's bad, because they consider inbred royalty. These are the people that had us in chains. The people who deem being inbred royalty.
Exactly. But you want to know something? And this is something I've written down, right? It says a disciplined person doesn't automatically reject correction. They examine it, learn from it, and make the necessary adjustments. That's what a disciplined person does. A disciplined person does not automatically reject correction. See, a person that strives of the mastery of being disciplined, they're not going to reject correction. You want to know why they don't reject correction? Because they always feel like there's something that they can learn to be better at. Once we start learning that, once we start having that type of mindset, then we all, as a people, as the 12 tribes of Israel, can learn how to be better for one another. We're gonna get into this last one, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna get into this last one. Okay. This is gonna be the last discipline thing that we get into. We gotta learn how to discipline our desires. Because that's something that it's a stronghold on the 12 tribes of Israel, man.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with social media the way that it is, man. disciplining your desires is so difficult right now because everybody and their mama, if you go to Twitter, it's like a free for all wickedness. If you go to Instagram and even on Facebook now that they telling you to click a link, go check the comments. Go to the book of Ecclesiastes in the Apocrypha, chapter 18, verse 30. Please.
Khan, this is book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 18, verse 30. Go not after thy lusts, but refrain thyself from thine appetites.
Keep going.
Verse 31. If thou givest thy soul the desires that please her, she will not make thee she will make thee a laughing stock to thine enemies that malign thee.
Understand this, man. If you don't learn how to control your desires, you'll become a laughing stock. Control your appetite when it comes down to watching pornography. Control your appetite when it comes down to being somebody that's so thirsty for attention that you're willing to do whatever.
Right.
And this is talking about men and women. Control your appetite to be so lusted after that you create OnlyFans, and then all of a sudden you start getting leaked. See, you thought it was good, you thought it was cool when you felt like you could control who was looking at it. But then all of a sudden when it gets leaked and it's on all social media platforms, your grandma seeing you getting banged up and getting taken through them. Now all of a sudden, what? Now all of a sudden you shame. Now all of a sudden you like, whoa, wait, I'm so hurt.
Mm-hmm.
They should have never done me like this. You should have had enough respect for yourself and not even put yourself in that type of predicament. We have to refrain and go not after thy lust, but refrain thyself from thine appetites. Like, you gotta understand this, man. You should only look and want your wives. The Lord told you you can have multiple of them. But what he sat here and told you is don't go after another man's wife.
Right.
If that's another man's wife, she off limits. Leave her alone. As a sister, if you have a man that you're sleeping with, that's your husband. Your eyes should desire only him. Not everybody. Not being on OnlyFans. Not doing the stuff that they doing nowadays. Brother, do you know how crazy it is nowadays? That they got people what it is, making different lingerie and then telling people, oh, buy my videos. I'm wearing the lingeries, like buy my videos, subscribe to my close friends, and subscribe to my exclusive channels. Your appetite should only be to the person that you are sleeping with. And I'm not talking about multiple different people. When you sleep with that one man, that's your husband.
Right.
As a man, when you sleep with that woman, that is your wife. That's where your appetite should be. Go ahead.
So, like, if I may, just because you're hungry for it does not mean it's lawful to eat.
Brother, you see where it says, if thou giveth thy soul, it said, if thou giveth thy soul the desire that pleases her, she will make thee a laughing stock of thine enemies. You know what that remind me of? That remind me of Samson.
Damn.
We all know the story of Samson, right?
Right. He got hungry for a heathen.
Got hungry for a heathen, knowing that that's not where his appetite should be. Hey, put that down now.
Move that.
too old. You ain't gotta do that. Samson got his appetite was so hungry for a heathen, and not only a heathen, his appetite was hungry for what? A prostitute. To the point where he did what? He told her what? Told her what makes him weak.
Yeah.
He said what? At first he was playing around with, oh, this is what makes me weak. Oh, this is what makes me weak. And he's like, nah, I'm still strong. But because of her tears, what did he decide to do? Said exactly what makes him weak. And that's what we're doing now. As 12 tribes of Israel, we're doing the same thing that Samson did. Because we know what makes us strong. And what makes us strong is following the laws, statutes, and commandments. But you know what we're doing? We're allowing ourselves to tell our enemies what makes us weak. And you know what our enemies is doing? We're a laughing stock amongst our enemies because we will not stay strong by being disciplined. We are so undisciplined that we allow our enemies to bring anything in front of our face to make us weak. Samson was one of the most strongest men. I'm talking about this the same dude that can knock off 1,000 people with some jawbones.
Right.
And you know what he fell to? Some box. Told some box that if y'all cut my hair, that will take my strength. And he was subdued and became a laughing stock unto his enemies because of that.
Make sport of him.
Brother, plucked his eyes out. It made sport of him afterwards. Pillow talking with the enemy. I don't know if y'all can hear what the sister said.
There you go, sister. Like my bad.
What the sister said, it sounds like what's happening in the days that we're living in right now. With our people sitting here being so wicked that you pillow talking with someone that you think is for you, but they're really not. And because you're giving them all the information, because you're so lustful after them, they're able to set you up. Just like in the Bible with Samson. Samson was set up. They was in the closet waiting on Samson. They were waiting to hear what will make him weak, what will destroy him. And that's what's happening right now. You getting set up. See, our people are the new day and age Samson because we getting set up left and right because you know what? We don't know how to control our lustful spirits. And that's what we got to learn how to do better. You had something, brother? You had something you want to say?
Lie, sir.
And with that, what I'm gonna tell y'all is this, man. We gotta learn how to be more disciplined when it comes down to our lives. The Lord gave us laws, statutes, and commandments for us to be above all nations on the face of the earth. He told you that you were a royal people, a royal priesthood that he chose, not because you were mighty in numbers, but because he loved you. And it's time for us to come back to following these laws, statutes, and commandments and doing what he told you to do. And with that, we're going to say imagine, which means to stand. We're going to give a courtesy salute to the brothers, then to the sisters, men of Israel. Imagine, Shabbat, imagine, Barak,
Yahweh, Yahweh,
Dr. Matah, Sar, which means to face the sisters. Sisters, Imagine, which means to stand. Men of Israel, Majum Shabbat, Majum, Barak, Yahweh Shemal Atah B'Hashem Yahushua,
Yahweh Shemal Atah B'Hashem Yahushua.
Yahamanna, class is mixed.